In today's lecture, we will learn what is group. What is group? So to start with group, first we have to understand some basic operations. Let us talk about the plus. Plus is an operation that need two operands to operate, meaning 2 plus 3 gives you 5. So these 2 and 3 are called the operands. This is one operand and this is another. So 2 and 3 both are these are the operands. And this plus is called the operator. So here plus is an operator that needs two operands to operate. Similarly, we take another operation minus. Obviously, we need two operands again. Here 3 is an operand and 2 is an operand, and this minus. This is an operator. Okay. Another operation that you know, that is again the negative sign, and instead of writing in the negative, we may write it as a negation, or like this minus 1. If we write minus 1, so here this minus is an operator and this 1 is the operand. So what is the meaning of what is the difference? Is there any difference of this minus or this minus here? That is a question. Because this minus needs two operands to operate and this minus needs only one operand to operate. So let us take similarly, if there's a L statement P, then if we represent this P, because you are familiar with the logic. So this is actually the negation operator. That is negation. If P is an operator, then negation of P gives the negative of the statement P. Similarly, if we consider if those who are familiar with the computer languages, they are in a statement, if some condition here, if this condition is satisfied, then suppose we write if condition is satisfied, then if condition, then P, else Q. So it means here we have three operators. What are they? These are condition. If, then, and else. This comes in the category of operator. If operates on this condition, then operates on P and else operate on Q. And condition P and Q are the operands on which these three operators, if, then, and else are operate. So what is the purpose of telling you all these is that plus is an operator that need two operands, minus is an operator that need two operands. So these operators come in the category of binary operator. This is binary operator. This comes in the category of unary operator. And this comes in the category of ternary operator. So we have three types of operators: binary, ternary, unary, and the ternary. In the similar pattern, we may have more operators and they are named, if we have n operators then n-ary operators. So this is the binary operator. For group theory we need to learn only about the binary operator. The binary operator like plus, minus, multiplication and division. These are the 4 binary operators that we are familiar with. We may also call this as a binary operations. So what if we represent generally by a simple circular dot? If this is a binary operation, it means it operates on 2 numbers. Suppose we take A operator B. So if this is a binary operator that it needs 2 operands, so suppose it operates on A and B. From where these 2 elements A and B come? So they belongs to some set. Suppose G. So if A and B belongs to G and this binary operator small circular dot operates on this, then the element after operation belongs to G. So actually what is dot? This dot or this operation, if it is a binary operation, it is a map from G cross G to G. That any 2 elements A and B, A belongs to this G and B belongs to G, then this maps to A operator B. So what is binary operation? Binary operation is a map from G cross G to G that takes any ordered pair AB to A operation B. Or we may sometimes say that it is a binary composition also. And so plus is here, plus, minus, multiplication, division, all are the binary operations. To represent a general operation, we represent it with a circular dot. Let us study some properties that we have already learned somewhere in our earlier classes. That first property is the closure property. Closure property. So closure properties means if A belongs to G and B belongs to G, it implies A operation belongs to G. And this property is for every element that belongs to G, not only for some. For every element, if A belongs to G, B belongs to G implies A operation B belongs to G, then we say this as a closure property, or we say G is closed with respect to, what is the language? G is closed with respect to operation dot. Let us take n. N is a set of natural number. If let us see whether plus n is closed with respect to plus or not. If we add 2 natural number, we always get a natural number. So we may say n is closed with respect to this set is closed. As n is closed with respect to this plus operation. Similarly, if we take the set, again the set of natural number, and we take the operation minus, then 3 minus 2 is 1, that belongs to set of natural number. But if we take 2 minus 3, that means minus is, it does not belongs to set of natural number. So with respect to n, with respect to this minus operation is not closed. Okay. Because the closure property should be satisfied for the each element. Here it is satisfied for 3 and 2, but not the ordered pair 2 and 3. So it is n is not closed with respect to operation. Similarly, you may check for it the division operation. For example, 2 divided by 1, there's 2 that belongs to set of natural number. But what about 1 divided by 2? Actually, it is a fraction. 1 by 2, it is a rational number. Doesn't belongs to set n. So again, n with respect to the division operation is not closed. So this is a meaning of saying ki whether some set is closed with respect to some operation or not. Next property is the associativity. Or associative property or associative law, whatever you want to call it. So what is next property is the associativity. For this we need 3 elements ki for A, B, C belongs to G. If A operation B operation C is same as A operated on B operation C, that means if we change the order of operation, here A and B are operated first and then we operate C. Here B and C are operated first, then we operate on it A. So if the order of operations change, then, or the grouping, if the grouping during the operation is changed, then the result remains the same. So this property is called the associative property. You may easily check that n plus is associative, satisfy the associative property. N minus, obviously not. The satisfy. Similarly, the division does not satisfy. If we take with the product multiplication, then it will satisfy the associative property. You may check for the another sets of for these properties. Next one is the existence of identity. Is there exist any element in G for some element A belongs to G? Is there exist an element, suppose B belongs to G such that A plus B remains A? That is, the effect of adding B in A remains and doesn't affect A. Obviously, you can see that key here B is 0. That means if we add 0 in A, we get A. This is, here we take the plus operation. But in general, if we talk about this operation, then for A belongs to G, there exists an element, say E, belongs to G such that A operation E is equal to A. Then this element E is called identity element. Identity element of G. So the next property is the existence of identity. Is there exists an identity element in G such that this identity element operated on each element of G gives the same element. In case of plus, obviously 0 is the identity element, as we have seen. Similarly, for what about the negative? So again, the identity element E is 0 here, because 2 minus 0 is 2. But 0 minus 2 is not 2. So This is also a matter of fact that we have to consider only one left-sided operation or the right-sided operation. In case of multiplication, so E, identity element is 1, because if we multiply 2 into 1, then we again get 2. Any element x belongs to n, when it is multiplied by 1, it gives you the x. So in case of multiplication, 1 is the identity element. Next is the existence of inverse. Existence of inverse. If A belongs to set G, there exists an element B belongs to G such that when A operated on B gives you the identity element E, then B is called inverse of A. Then B is called the inverse of A. And it is represented symbolically, it is represented by A inverse. That is, B is represented by A inverse. So, in case of n plus, if 2 belongs to n, do we have an element here which is added in 2 gives us the identity element 0? No, there is no element that belongs to n, because minus 2 satisfies this property. 2 plus minus 2 equal to 0, but minus 2 does not belongs to n. So the set of natural number do not satisfy the property of the existence of inverse. Not every element in n has a inverse. So we have learned about the 4 properties. First one is the closure property, then the associative property, existence of identity, and the existence of inverse. Now if all these properties are clear, then we move to the next definition of the group. Definition of group. So a non-empty set G together with the operation O or dot is called a group if the following conditions are satisfied. First property is the closure axiom. Closure property. Closure property says that for all A, B belongs to G implies A operation B belongs to G. Second property is the associative property or associative law. This says for all A, B, C belongs to G, we have A operation B operation C gives you A operated on B operation C. Next property is the existence of identity. This property says there exists an element, say E belongs to G, such that A operation E gives you A is a E operation A. So to avoid this problem, whether E is operated from right or the left, here we take this A operation E equal to E operation A gives you the same element A for all A belongs to G, then E is called identity element. Element of G. Next property is the existence of inverse. What this property says, for every element for A belongs to G, there exists A inverse belongs to G such that A operated on A inverse is same as A inverse operated on A, and it gives you the identity element E. Then A inverse is called inverse of A. So if G with respect to this operation is called group. Is called group. If is called group if all these four properties, closure property, associative property, existence of identity, and existence of inverse, hold in G. So any non-empty set G with an operation is form an algebraic structure. So G, whenever we write a set with operation, for example G here, or if we take set of natural number with a plus, then this is an algebraic operator with one operation. We may write a set with two operations like this and dot. This structure is called this is also called an algebraic structure. This type of structures form vector space or field or ring or ideal. These you have learned after studying this you are familiar with. So after completion of group theory, we study field, ring, and ideals. So this is all about the definition of the group. One more important property is here, that is called the commutativity. Or commutative property. What this property says, for any two element belongs to G, if A operation B equal to B operation A holds. If this holds, then we say G is a commutative group. Commutative group. If a group holds this property, then this group is called a commutative group or abelian group. Abelian group. So if these four properties are satisfied, this and this, then G forms a group. And if one more property is satisfied, that is a commutativity, then G is called the abelian group or the commutative group. Now here you can see we write the identity property for like that, A operated on E gives you the A, and E operated on A gives you the A. When we are dealing with the n with the operation minus, and we are looking for the identity element, is the which operation is the gives you the identity element here. This 2 minus 0 gives us 2. But 0 minus 2 doesn't give us 2. That means A operation E is not same as E operation A. That means 2 minus 0 is not same as 0 minus 2. So 0 is not the identity element for 0 is not identity element of n. One more important point. Here we write E equal to 0 is the identity element earlier. Okay, if in any natural number 2 we add 0, we get 2. But because we talk here about the set of natural numbers, so we also have to see whether this 0 belongs to n or not. This is okay. 2 plus 0 always gives us 2. But 0 is not a member of n. But 0 is not a member of n. It means identity element not existed in the set of natural number. So whenever we deal with these properties, so what is the important thing? The important thing is that we not only look for the operations, we have also see whether the elements on which we operate, they belongs to the set or not. Earlier when we write identity E equal to 0 here, then we don't look this whether 0 belongs to n or not. But you have to clearly see the element 0 belongs to n or not. Obviously not. So 0 is not the identity element in n. So identity element not existed in set n. Similarly, you may check some simple groups. Suppose we take set of real numbers. You may check with R with plus forms a group or not. R with operation minus, R with operation multiplication, and R with operation division. Whether these groups in these algebraic structure form a group or not. Similarly, you may take n and take any operation. You may take Q, set of rational numbers. You may take C with the product or the addition of complex numbers with any operation. Take any non-empty set and take any operation and check whether they form a group or not. Not only that, you may define operation by yourself. Suppose we take R and we define an operation A, operation B, where A and B are the members of R. That is, I am taking the set of real number with some operation this. And the operation is defined like A plus B plus AB. Now, whether this forms with this structure, whether R not forms a group or not. So these types of problems you need to solve. Try yourself and find whether all these sets or any set that you have choose form a group or not. So let us stop here.